Well, today I'm going to fool a little bit with fonts and shadowing, and show you a place where you can get some free fonts out there to play with. Let's open up Google here and type in free fonts for commercial use and do a search. I like this one here because I'm familiar with it. A million years ago when I first started in computers, you used to be able to buy a CD that had 1,001 fonts on it. And that's what kind of drew me. Everyone I saw this was drawn to it. Now you see up here it says free fonts for commercial use. As long as you stay in that free font, you're okay. There are fonts in here you have to pay for, but there's a lot available under this. As a matter of fact, free for commercial use this year is almost 5,000. Let's see here. Let's take a look down and see what we have. I want to find something bold. I want a bolder type of font. Something bold is kind of neat to make shadows and make the letters look rounded and curved, and that's kind of what I want to play with. And I probably should have done this and found the one I wanted before I ever got on here, but I didn't. And that's the way everybody gets to see a little bit of what's on this site anyway. Oh my God, come on. I want to find the one here. I want to show everybody what's on here, but this thing, oh here, this isn't bad. Oh, that's not good either. I probably should have looked this over earlier, huh? Oh well. The whole thing is playing, that's right. I get in here and I forget that I want to play on this computer, and if you want to watch me play, fine. If not, that's life. You're in the wrong place, because the nitty gritty is I go out here and I play and look around and do things. You know what? I'm going to back up here because I'll show you something. This is a little drawn out anyway because we got to download the font and put it in the right place. This isn't exactly the font I want, but I can show you something neat with this because it's how to color the letters in the background. So we'll download this and save it. I'm going to save it in the images file here. And let's open up the images. And where's it at? Mr. Vampire. First of all, I got to get rid of some of this stuff I've got in here. If I don't do that, I'll get it lost in with the say cut, create a folder, old stuff, and paste all that stuff in old stuff. Okay, here we go. This is a little more organized. Open with the archive manager, and there's the fonts. Extract. Okay, now what we want to do is copy this font where we can use it. I do want to change this to lowercase. I probably don't have to, but my other fonts are lowercase, and when I do a search, I look for TTF in small letters. Okay, now I know that this is where my fonts are. User share fonts, true type, and I made myself my own little directory in here, Jax, where I copy stuff that I have in here. So let's do. Let's look at this directory where I just downloaded. It's my desktop images, and look at the TTF in there. There it is. Okay. So what we can do is take this, copy it, paste it, and say, hey, copy, and it's got to be a pseudo copy. That's a protected area down there. Pseudo copy that font in the directory of user share fonts, TrueType, and Jax. Now if I do an ls in there, I see 2 different font types I put in. Okay, now we go back up here to Windows, and since I just put it in here, I've got to close my graphics program and reopen it up so it can find the fonts. Mist TV, I called that. Or I didn't call it, they called it. Hey, I'll show y'all something. This made me think because see, it popped right up back up where I wanted it at, exactly in the right spot. If you shut a screen down, say my screen is like this, and I hold down the control key and I shut that window, it will remember that previous size. And when I open it back up again, it's going to open up the same size. And that's with almost any window you have. A lot of them even remember the position. Most remember the position. But that's just kind of neat that there's something that you want to open in the reset. Or there you say, then my player opens all different sizes. Well, when you close your player down, hit that control key, then hit the X, and it will remember the size. Okay, now let's see if we can do this font. New, the same size as my video screen. And the reason I don't know what I want to use this for. I might make my, you know what I ought to do? I know what I'll do, is I'll make the intro thumbnail for the video. That's giving me a good project. We'll go to what was that? LMXMX. Missed the vampire. There it is. Okay. Oh, it's got to be black. And what size? You can change the size after you're doing it, but now let's go to, okay. Experimenting. With fonts. Fonts and thumbnails. Now again, if I want to change that size, I click in there, anywhere click in, hit Control A and they all highlight. That way I can pick everything up and increase it the size I want, slide it where I feel like, and there we go. So let's make that to the image size. Now you can color those inside. What you need to do is you select from the outside, you select everything. No, you don't want to select it. Yeah, you can select everything. Oh man, I'm confusing myself. You want to select, this right here selects everything transparent. This selects, what's the term, contiguous areas that are all together. For instance, this picks the outside, but it won't pick the inside transparent. See the transparency inside of the letters? It won't pick it. If I use this one and select, it selects the outside and inside the letters. It just doesn't select the black. What I want to do is select just the outside. Then I want to invert it. Take my selection and invert it. And that picks only the letters. Now if I color this, and let me shrink it. I'm going to shrink it 1 because the letters are wide. And if I shrink it 1, I'm not going to show a little bit on the outer edge. So let me go shrink by 1 pixel. In case you don't understand what I was talking about there, if you notice, when I shrunk it by 1, I took it in 1 notch. Instead of being out here, it's in 1. Because, see, some of these are semi-transparent on the outside edge. See them? So if I would have had them selected, when I painted it, it would have painted that semi-transparent and the color would have bled out. But now I'm going to paint this. I see a little problem already because the insides here are not going to be, they're going to be painted also. But we'll take care of that. Okay, since it's a vampire, scary looking thing, let's do it red. And we'll paint it red. Now that just painted the inside of all the letters red. Let's shrink it down and look at it. And there you go. That did just the letters and nothing on the background. It didn't even bleed over on the edges. However, it did also do the centers of the letters. So now let's go select none. We will go back up to here, to that layer. We're going to show that one, but we're going up to the top layer and use it. And we're going to zoom in on it. Now let's select all these areas inside here. Well, actually, we can just erase them. We'll do a hard brush. See, there's soft brushes and hard brushes. We want a hard brush, and we want it reasonably small, so I can just erase the inside of those letters. Okay, that one's done. That one's done. I notice I'm a little bit wobbly with my mouse. I'm using a mouse, and I've got a tablet right here in front of me, but I'm using my mouse. You don't have to have tablets. They sure are nice, though. But you don't need them. This is all with a mouse, so that nobody can look and think, well, I haven't got a tablet. I haven't got a tablet, a drawing pad. I can't do this. Everything you're going to see from me on here is going to be done with a mouse. I won't use that tablet. So nobody out there can think, well, I can't do that. I haven't got a tablet. I shouldn't say everything. I'll tell you, there'll be times when I use a tablet, but I'll tell everybody first. Tablet just makes it easier. Okay, now we got that all looking pretty good. Let's check it out just for the heck of it and put a white background on it. They all look good. So since they look good, there are two different layers now. Since they look good, let's merge them together. Merge down. I'm going to take it out just a little bit, and again, we'll select the outside of everything. Well, now it's colored, we can select everything. Actually, it makes no difference. We select everything, select invert. Now we're going to put a background on that, and you're not even going to see it. Let's give it a black background. And notice I've got the new layer where there's nothing in here. Now this could be very handy. I don't do it much, but I know a lot of people are really good about labeling their layers. If I know I'm going to do something with a lot of layers to it, I'll label it. Otherwise I don't. But it's a very good thing to put your labels on, especially when you get into doing smaller things. This is large enough I can see in there. I know what it is. But I pick that layer and paint it black. Now, I can't slide that black layer now because it's selected. And if I slide it, I might even slide it outside of the selection area and cut it. What you want to do is just select none. Then you want to slide it. Then move it. And you can actually move it as much as you want. It's all up to you on what kind of a shadow you want to have on it. But as a shadow effect, sometimes real close is neat, sometimes far away. This guy have to do it like you like it. Okay, now you want to make that layer the same size as the image, and I can take that layer and change the opacity right here. I don't want it quite black. I want it more like a shadow in there. Okay. There we go. And I actually like that shadow like that, so I can merge it down again if I want to. That allows me to move that whole set of text where I want it. Scale to image. You notice what before I did that, I'll back up. This is my actual layer, and it's not the same size as the image. The reason I do same size as the image is so that that layer matches. Now you see it's the same size as what that image is. And we can go down here, and let's draw an area, and we'll make that color just a little bit different. We'll offset that white. Here's the white. Let's add kind of a beige-ish looking, a light beige looking color, and we can paint that in there. And let's add some more text now. We'll do a new layer. And let's change that. Yeah, we'll change the letter style, I guess, instead of Mr. Vampire stuff. Okay, well we had, okay. Oh, no wonder I didn't see it. It's the same color as the background. Oh my goodness. I was typing letters and I couldn't see it. Fun with Gimp graphics. And we can select all that and increase the size. Slide it down here to the middle and take that layer and make it the same as the image. Now we'll put a layer underneath that. And let's draw some stars. Let's draw a starry looking thing here. We'll do that in an orange, a reddish orange. Yeah, that'll be nice. Drawing is so much fun. I used to draw a lot by hand, and I think I fell in love with the idea that you can just change it so quick. Now see, I marked all those spaces. I used this tool to mark the lines. Now what I want to do is select from the path. Now I've got that whole path selected I just did, and I can paint it. Now I can select another area and let me put another layer in on top of that. And you can readjust them. Once you make that square, you can readjust it. You can even slide it around. And let me go back to the background and get the color. See the eyedropper? You get that eye. Now you have to choose the right layer though. I'm choosing the layer that has that beige looking color, getting the eyedropper and getting the color. See the color change? That's the color I'm going to paint now. And go back up here to where I made that square at and paint it. Now I can go to the actual, let me get rid of some of this, you can see it. Right here I'm going back to this layer. And since I've got that layer chosen, I'm going to resize it a little bit. This is why it's good to size your window to your graphics, because you see exactly where you're at and you can slide it around there. We can even slide that down where it goes outside of the border. It doesn't matter because it's what we want to do. That's the name of the game. You make what you want. Now you also can slide it here. If you link together, if you increase one, the other one changes. If you increase width, the height does. It stays in aspect. If you disconnect it, the aspect is broken and you just can change only the height if you want to. I'm going to slide that up a little bit. And again, make it back to the image size. I can take that whole thing again. Again, if you notice here, we'll get rid of all the backgrounds. Well, maybe I want to slide it up a little bit because I want to put a border on it. Back to image size. We'll select everything. Select invert. Put a layer under that. And let's paint it red. And take this side. Now you see it's chosen, it's selected right on the edge. Let's take that edge and say, take the selection, let's grow it a little bit. Let's grow it by 4 pixels. Now all around is 4 pixels bigger. So when I paint this, it's going to have a red border. Now let's put all this stuff back. And we're almost there. We'll take this bottom layer. Actually, let's take all this stuff here, merge it down. I'll show you a trick. I don't have to merge it all down. What I can do is say, I don't want that layer. I don't want that layer. But from all this stuff here, I want to create a new layer from what's visible. That gives me all this right here that I just chose and puts it all into one layer without destroying what I have down here. So if I want to change it, I can just go back here and get rid of that layer and light it back up again and work with them. So anyway, what I want to do is take this whole thing, I want to take this layer here, the layer was just the beige, that square. Now you can see it's just a square. I want to take just the square. So I have to invert because I chose the invisible part. I want to invert it. I want to make another layer underneath. Paint it black. Now I'll select none because I want to blur this. And if I have it selected on the edge, it's not going to blur outside of the edge. So I've got to deselect it. Then I can take this here and put a Gaussian blur to it. And that makes it blurred edge. And you see that lightly blurred edge on the outside. Now I can even duplicate that and it comes out even darker. Or I could take it and offset it a little bit. I can take one of the layers and offset it. And although it's blurred all the way around, that's darker because I slid the one layer on top of the other. And here I slid that layer off of it. Okay, there's the image size. This is good enough. I think I've got a video here. Now I want to export this. To save it, you have to export it. Tell it where to export it. I want to export it in recently used, which is images. That's the directory we're in. And I want to call it, because it's the thumbnail, and the name of my video is going to be Experimenting with Fonts and Thumbnails. And look what I did to thumbnails. I misspelled it. But this is cute. We're going to do something cute with that. Experimenting with fonts and thumbnails.jpg. See, I made a mistake. Now I gotta figure out what can I do with that mistake. Oh my god, I could do it all over, but I'm doing a video. I don't want to redo my whole video, so I'm gonna cheat, and anybody that sees this being made will know what I did here. I cheated because I made a mistake. Okay, now we're gonna do one more layer. And that layer, in this layer, we're gonna try something, which I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's see. Okay, make that to the image size. Make another layer on top. And we go back to my fonts. And what was the name of that font? Oh my god, that vampire thing or something, wasn't it? Oh wait, now I gotta find, there it is, Mr. Vampire. Okay, got to do it back in black and right here. Oh, when you do a layer on top of a layer, sometimes it freaks. So I'm going to take and just merge this down and prevent the big freak from taking place. Okay, see if it'll let me do it now. Yes. And hopefully it'll be looked at as, that's weird he did that. That's being creative. Maybe people just look at it and go, oh look at that guy's being creative. And let's move it up a little bit. And I can probably even make it look on purpose before I get done here. Okay, layer to image size. We're going to have to choose that area inside of that. Let me close everything else. We'll get rid of everything we have in here now, except for this. Choose that area inside of that. Select grow by 1 pixel because I want to expand underneath the letter. And we'll paint it the red. Let's put all this stuff back in here now. Okay, select none. Now there's this, it's got the layer under it, there's the paint. We'll put a blank layer under it. Oh, that layer was on top. And let's select this. Select invert, invert, and we'll paste the shadow. We'll paint the shadow. And then offset that shadow. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Everybody says this, now you'll know what happened. Everybody's not going to know. Some of you think, look, that guy's really creative. No, he just messed up. And knows how to cover his flaws. Oh my God. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take all this stuff. Let me choose it all of it. No, I don't want to choose that one. And I don't want to choose that back layer. But I do want to make a new layer now from all of this. And there's a reason I'm going to do this, and I'll explain. I want to take and slide it. Oh, I want a new one from visible. Now I want all this stuff invisible. I want to have room to sign it underneath because I'll post this thing also on Instagram. And I've got to sign it. That way they'll take a look and go, oh, look at that MyLinuxToyBox guy. Here we go to the there to image size. Oh my God, my little short video turned into a big drawn out process. Let's do another text and we'll do a mono space and let's do it in red. Oh my God, yes. Oh, burgundy. I like burgundy better than red. Okay. MyLinuxToyBox. Visit me on YouTube. I select all that, make it a little bit smaller so it'll fit in there fine. Okay, that'll fit in. Slide it under it. Visit me on YouTube. Oh my God, I'm not YouTube's. I'm on YouTube, and it's not, and it has a capital letter in it. My poor wife's sitting here looking at me, wondering if I'm talking to myself or if I'm making a video, because she doesn't know. Because I do the same thing all the time. She says, "You're lucky. You're finally going to get to talk to yourself, and nobody's going to think you're crazy, because that's just what you're doing." Okay, now let's save it again. Now let's look at the image. Open with image viewer. Shrink my image viewer down until it can fit in my window. Oh my goodness. Okay. Here we go. I don't believe I expanded my... After all I did here, and I expanded my my freaking... I wonder when I did that, or when that happened. Probably since the very beginning. It's outside of the borders of my recording window. Nobody can see all my layers over here. I've been saying, see this layer? I choose this layer. I'm choosing this layer. Oh my God. Oh my God. I gotta put this up. I've got to put it up just because it's the nature. You see where I put my bee up on top? And there's my shadow to the bee. Oh my God. I can't believe I had my layers off this whole time. Or outside the screen. Huh. Oh well. Oh well. Hey, you have a nice day.